Good morning, everyone. Happy Saturday. I'm the Gray Strega, and I'm here to give you your daily collective read for today, Saturday, April 22nd, 2023. What do we have in the cards for today? Let's get right into it. First 5 cards for our 5-card spread. First card coming out right out the gate. Oh my goodness, I love this. We do have a 10 of Pentacles in its upright. We're very happy to see this. So a lot of concentration and orientation right now towards your immediate circle of influence, which you feel is coming through with some positivity, with some productivity, trying to get things done today, trying to get out there, trying to be as doing the things that you need to do, feeling some of this energy at least working around you right now. We'll see as long as it stays that way. I want to manifest this right now, considering we are in the retrograde. Let's continue with these 5 cards. The next card we have coming through right now is 3 of Swords in its reversal. So this is very interesting because what we're really seeing right now is, for a lot of you, much of your healing right now, this is bearing in mind, you are still going through some sort of healing process. There is some pain that is still rising up to the surface, but you are finding a lot of easement right now, specifically by putting yourself out around your circle of influence, almost allowing some of this outside energy, feeling the productivity in these areas to help heal some of the internal work that you've been doing up until this point. And there is coming through with some sense of completion with this, particularly with this being our 10 card. So feeling that there is something happening that's allowing this healing to come to a point of closure, which we also love. The next card we are seeing in our 5-card spread, center card for today's reading, baby, it's in its reversal. So we love seeing these cards in combination in its reversal, because what we're also seeing here is, and this is where it's going to feel a little bit triggering. So we are seeing that you are in the act of healing. There is something about some healing coming to a point of closure, but at the same time recognizing that there is some still feeling of kind of the residuals around what you've been working through today. And there is a lot of work right now in terms of an act of restoration, almost doubling down and putting a lot of energy into your outside environment, into your places of productivity, your immediate sphere of influence, because you are seeing that is something that is allowing you to heal your own heart right now. And you are also seeing that you're moving out of some kind of tower situation. This is where you're seeing that the crisis is coming to a point of easement. Sometimes this energy can feel a bit triggering, because often even as we're healing some of the tower moments, a lot of it kind of comes to the surface to allow us to build that sense of closure. But we do see that closure is coming through with that 10 card today. Continuing to get clarification on these cards right now, the next card we have in our 5-card spread, coming through right now with a 3 of Cups in its reversal. So interesting energy here, because what we're really seeing is, while there is a deep and heavy concentration right now around some circumstances and scenarios that are positively, productively moving as it relates to your immediate sphere of influence, we see that you're moving away from anything that feels like it is coming through as more flippant, as less serious, not having time necessarily now to move forward in a place of frivolity, or moving into places of like just general distraction, but almost like rejecting some of this energy right now so that you can focus on moving as productively as possible. This could also be speaking about moving away from any circumstances or situations where you feel there was some negative third-party energy, and something about acknowledging that this third-party energy is persistent and pervasive is what is also allowing you to have some sense or resonance of closure right now as you move into areas that you feel are coming through more positively. Continuing to get clarification on these cards right now, the final card for our 5-card spread before we start to get clarification on these cards is, we love this. These are beautiful cards to start the day with our star energy here. So more than anything right now, we see that you are moving with a degree and with a desire to be able to be your most authentic expression of self, and seen and appreciated in that moment, being able to be vulnerable, being able to feel it be that you can be exposed but in a safe way. Something about the areas that you're moving away from right now are clearly not giving indications of that because of some of this outside third-party energy, or feeling like some energy was trying to cast you down or painting you in a negative light. It's this acknowledgement that's allowing you a moment of restoration even at this point, and a point of healing, because you're seeing that while there are some areas that you were not able to be in this mode for, there are other ones that are now celebrating you for being able to be in this open, honest expression of self. It will feel a little bit different depending on whether you align to feminine or masculine energy. For masculine, you're either embodying this, or this could even be your attention turning towards an expression of feminine right now that you feel is living in this open, vulnerable way, but one that has a lot of eyes on them at this moment, and feeling that you're being granted access to this point of vulnerability and exposure. While for feminine, this could be feeling like you are finding a safe space where you can truly embody this energy. Let's start getting some clarification on the cards that we're seeing right now. Clarification between our 10 of Pentacles and our 3 of Swords in its reversal. So moving into some productivity spaces today, putting a lot of concentration on those spheres of influence that are around you right now that are yielding the most productive results, and allowing this to be a point of healing as you continue forward in this way. May I please have one card to clarify? Clarification coming right now with, there it is. We just got this card. We're pulling a lot of these reverse sword cards right now. So we're getting clarification right now with the Knight of Swords in its reversal. Going to feel a little different depending on whether you align to feminine or masculine energy. For feminine energy, even as you're moving into these spheres or spaces right now of productivity that's allowing for some healing, there is some recognition of some energy that you do have your direction or focus on, particularly as it relates to masculine, bearing in mind that this is not based on gender, but what it feels most aligned to right now, that you feel is not coming forward to the degree or capacity that you would desire, that there's something here about this energy not being able to come forward, potentially even feeling or experiencing a lack of confidence or fear coming from this energy. And it's this acknowledgement of the withdrawal of this energy that's actually allowing you to continue to heal your heart space and move more into these places of productivity at this moment. You're not letting this act as a blocker. While for masculine energy right now, this is putting a concentration towards some areas that you feel are allowing spaces of productivity as it relates to your tangible life. Feeling that there is a point of healing, particularly because there are some other areas right now that you are not feeling the confidence in coming forward to the degree or the capacity that you're able. Potentially also even experiencing some moments right now that you are feeling limited or unable to move forward in some capacity and degree, because you are having a lot of orientation right now in terms of the places that you're trying to build this productivity in your sphere of influence right now. And you're also going through some degree of healing as you experience such. Continuing to get clarification on these cards right now between our 3 of Swords in its reversal and the Tower in its reversal. I love these two cards in combination, because we do see here that there is this moment of closure coming around some circumstances or situations that have caused a sense of crisis or built a sense of crisis, recognizing and acknowledging why those spaces were not the places that you were meant to be, starting to understand why they had to occur the way that they did, and allowing for this, potentially because you're now seeing a lot of this productivity around you, and allowing this to be a moment that is helping you to heal, even as you may be feeling some of the triggering points of those experiences kind of coming back to the surface as you close them out. World card in its reversal. This is the point of acknowledging, because what we're really seeing here is you're recognizing the difficulty or the inability in going forward towards these places that cause the Tower moment, because you're understanding that the reason that you're healing right now is because these Tower moments are behind you, and because these Tower moments were creating a bunch of flippin' chaos in your day-to-day life, that they were simply showing you through the fact that they were creating Tower moments, that they were creating spaces of inability for you to manifest the true reality that you were hoping to manifest. That there was some kind of blockage here, whether intentional or unintentional, regardless of how or why. You're now seeing that those spaces that you were trying to build in were showing you over and over that they were not the fertile territory to do so, because they were not giving you this ability to have this sense of control, to have this ability to put your own desires and will into them. And it's this acknowledgement right now that's in the space of the places that are now creating those productive environments for you, that is allowing this healing process to come to fruition. We love this. Continuing to get clarification on these cards right now between our Tower card in its reversal and a 3 of Cups in its reversal. again, just allowing this to be a point of closure, looking at some tower situations from different perspectives, seeing them in different ways, maybe even putting a lot of acknowledgement on the non-healthy energies that were around those tower moments, really looking at the energies that may have been surrounding those tower moments, or may have kicked them off, or may have in some way, shape, or form had some form of hands on that tower moment, and just accepting and seeing them in this way, potentially even moving away from them, allowing this to be a point of just kind of moving away from this energy entirely. This could even be talking about accepting or acknowledging that some of these tower moments had some very like unhealed or unhelpful, toxic third-party energy surrounding them as well. May I please get one card to clarify? Clarification coming right now with the Five of Wands. So here's the thing that's causing a bit of a frustration point for you. And this is something that I think that is also why it's bringing some of these tower moments to the surface for you to continue to think about. You're acknowledging, as it relates to these tower moments, that you needed to move away from them. They're getting behind you right now. You're seeing them in different ways. It's making you put a very critical eye on the energies that were around them right now. And you are feeling right now kind of pushing away from those energies entirely, because either they were creating a profound immense of conflict in your own life whenever they kind of entered, in whatever degree. Or you may also be experiencing a bit of frustration in trying to understand how these energies played a hand in this tower moment. This could be creating a point of frustration and trying to like really navigate like why these energies were in the tower in the first place. Understanding like whether they had a hand in it, whether they were a part of it, what role did they play, and experiencing here potentially some conflict around it, but also acknowledging that there's just conflict entirely surrounding around this energy, which is why you're just kind of moving away from it, even as you're putting this point of consideration into it. Continuing to get clarification on these cards right now between our Three of Cups in its reversal and the Star energy. The reason you're able to move away from this right now is because you're acknowledging that there is some energy that you're moving away from. And what we're seeing here is as you move away from this energy, you yourself are feeling this like lift. You're feeling this like upgrade, if you will, in terms of being able to be in your most authentic expression of self. And you're now kind of looking at this and saying, was this because I was around this energy? Or is it because I'm moving away from this energy? To a certain degree, it doesn't matter. You're recognizing the fact that like, even in the span of some energy you feel has been like operating not towards your benefit or distracting you or causing this point of distraction, still you rise. Still you are committed to your own path. Still you are allowing yourself to continue to push forward, even in the face of naysayers, even in the face of those who you may be feeling are trying to cast you in a bad light right now, or trying to drag you down, or not understanding your goals or your mission or what you are trying to achieve. You're not letting this type of energy block you. Instead, you are just letting yourself rise above. The star stays in the sky so that it is not affected by this type of terrestrial energy, allowing this moment of being comfortable with who you are, being comfortable with being your most authentic, vulnerable expression of yourself. For masculine and feminine, this could feel a little bit differently. For masculine, you may not even be embodying this so much as this could be a moment where you're rejecting outside energy right now because you see a manifestation of feminine that is standing in their integrity, that is standing in their power, that is willing to be their most authentic expression of self, even in the face of outside energy that is pushing against them. While for feminine, this is a moment of just really reorienting towards yourself in this moment as you continue to move in this authentic space. May I please have one card to clarify? Clarification coming right now with the Five of Pentacles, and this is going to feel very different depending on whether you align to feminine or masculine energy. So for feminine, even as you're very committed to this journey right now of being in your most authentic expression of self, of continuing to embody your most vulnerable, true version of yourself, there is this moment of recognizing that even as you have to push away from some energy that you feel is blocking or stopping you from being able to do that, it is triggering an abandonment wound. But what we like so much about this is we do not see here a moment where the abandonment wound is causing you to retract or regress from this action. Instead, you are allowing this to be a moment of observation of the abandonment wound, of recognizing the deeper roots of that abandonment wound, but not letting them block you, and understanding you have to do work on this abandonment wound even as you go through this point, so that you can continue to move forward in this way. While for masculine, this could feel like a bit hairier energy, because what we're really seeing here for masculine is this could be a moment where you are putting a lot of orientation right now to a manifestation or towards a manifestation of feminine that you really feel is embodying this ability of being this like true, authentic, vulnerable expression of themselves, but also being very seen and valued and recognized in this space. And letting this be a moment of you potentially pushing away or rejecting from third-party energy, but also experiencing some abandonment wound in the process, because potentially something about this energy here with the star that may not necessarily be immediately accessible to you, particularly because of the blockages of the outside energy around you at this moment. Continuing to get clarification on these cards right now, clarification between our Knight of Swords in its reversal and the World card in its reversal. A moment right now that will feel a bit different for feminine or masculine energy. For feminine, this is the recognition right now of some energy that you may feel has not been consistent with its ability to come towards you. This could be feeling like it's hot or cold here, coming and going and going. There's a lack of consistency. There could even be feeling some concerns around the lack of confidence, or maybe even some fear-based mentality around a manifestation of masculine, and recognizing how this inconsistency has deep impacts on your own ability to create for yourself, recognizing how one starts to play off of the other when you allow this type of energy in, and feeling the frustration and not being able to manifest the things you want to manifest when you're around this type of energy. While for masculine right now, this is a moment of personal anxiety, of even as you're going through this space right now with a lot of attention to the sphere of influences around you that are productive, you're trying to do some healing because you're recognizing that there's some areas right now that you're severely lacking confidence in potentially. You're having to face your own fears. You're having to face your own lack of confidence, because you're recognizing though that that lack of confidence is creating a potential sense of chaos for you as you try to move through, doing a lot of this work for yourself to try to correct this instability. May I please have one card to clarify? Clarification coming right now with the Ace of Wands in its reversal. That this is a moment for feminine and masculine where you are very much oriented in terms of manifesting and implementing the things that you're truly trying to achieve here in the now, putting your focus on what you're trying to get done. And so for feminine right now, even while there is a concentration towards some energy that you feel isn't coming towards you with the consistency or the degree or the rapidity that you would hope, feeling some lack of confidence there, feeling some of the frustration that you're feeling around that, you're not letting it stop or block you. You're doubling down right now in trying to create what you're trying to create in the most effective way possible. Really trying to nail down your passions, really trying to like bring them into the surface, maybe even doing some things around writing today. This is often a card that comes up for writers for me. Now, for masculine energy right now, this is a moment that is going to feel like a real moment of facing oneself, because what we're seeing here is the difficulty or the inability between your own ability or your desire, your drive right now to create what you're trying to create, but also having to face some internal fears about being able to move forward in the degree and capacity that you want, that is making it harder to be able to manifest these things for yourself in this moment. Very heavy retrograde vibe right here. Continuing to get clarification right now between our World and its reversal and our Five of Swords. So having this moment right now of having to address some circumstances or situations that are making it hard for you to manifest the things that you're trying to manifest, feeling some sort of outward chaos due to some ongoing conflict that you are potentially experiencing, either metaphysically or tangibly, something you're going through in your own mind right now, or something that is practically playing out around you that is creating this sense of chaos or frustration. May I please have one card to clarify? Clarification coming right now with the Four of Pentacles in its upright. So what we're really seeing here is this is a withdrawal of energy. The solution to this circumstance that we're seeing right now playing out is that there is this acknowledgement that a good way to potentially move out of any places that are creating this chaotic feeling for you, that is creating this conflict, is just to pull your own energy back from it. Anything that's creating this conflict, you are taking your ball and you are going home. You're just like, I'm going to keep these cards close to my chest, because you are not feeling at this confidence in being able to express it. And this could be where a lot of that lack of confidence for masculine is coming from right now. While for feminine, it could be experiencing some of that lack of confidence causing some of this chaos. That is why you yourself are withdrawing from that energy as well. Continuing to get clarification on these cards right now. A lot of conflict energy here. We've got 2 5 cards coming out. The 5 of Wands in combination with the 5 of Pentacles. A moment right now that you are feeling some kind of conflict that you are experiencing, either internally or externally, but also bearing in mind and acknowledging that it has something to do with an abandonment wound that has been triggered within you. That whatever you're getting to the bottom of right now, its source is the abandonment wound, and trying to do the work to push through it even as you are experiencing it. May I please have one card to clarify? Clarification coming right now with the High Priestess in its reversal. This is going to feel different depending on whether you align to feminine or masculine energy, bearing in mind that this is not based on gender, but what it feels most aligned to. For feminine, there's simply a moment of really wanting to get to the bottom of this abandonment wound, really trying to face it full on in the face, because what you are starting to acknowledge and recognize is that this abandonment wound blocks you from your intuition. It blocks you from your higher thinking. It blocks you from being able to think logically. It blocks you from being able to connect with your higher self and your higher intuition and your higher instincts. That's where we're seeing that conflict. It's almost like the abandonment wound creates some sort of static within you, either internally or externally. And that is that a moment that you are recognizing, acknowledging, and trying to push back against it, because you realize that it gets you off your center. It keeps you from being able to really kind of get into that higher minded thinking. Thank you so much for the gift. While for masculine right now, this could be feeling like there is a moment of a deep abandonment wound rising up around you right now, and you are doing your best to fight against it, specifically as it may result or be manifesting around some disconnection towards a feminine energy. We're seeing here that withdrawal, that pullback, and you're experiencing some of the frustration because you're having to face the abandonment wound, because something about this access, as I said, these are very distant cards, the Star card and the High Priestess. There's something about this energy that a lot of your focus and manifestation powers are on right now that you are not necessarily feeling is accessible to you. And it is triggering the abandonment wound and potentially causing some sense of conflict in you in terms of how to potentially resolve this, because something about this energy may be showing that it is resistant from you being able to access it. Continuing to get clarification, thank you so much for the gifts, on these cards right now between our Ace of Wands in its reversal and our Four of Pentacles. A moment right now that you are pulling back a lot of your energy. You're holding some of your cards very tightly to your chest right now, but you're doing it because you're creating something. You are in the act of creation. You are in the act of trying to really ground something to the surface, and you're being very cautious. You're being very protective over what it is that you're trying to create right now. You're moving from a very masculine, and feminine are moving from a very protective place, holding things close, not necessarily revealing everything at this moment, because they are so focused on trying to create the things that they're trying to create, be it a new passion, be it communication, be it a new project, be it a new opportunity. May I please have one card to clarify? The clarification is coming right now with the Temperance in its reversal. Yeah, not only are you in a space right now, this card keeps coming up in its reversal. Not only are you in a space right now where you're trying to do something, you're trying to create something, you're holding some cards close to holding some of those cards close to your chest, you're also feeling the stress of time. You feel like there's something here where you need to move sooner rather than later, that this is not a time to wait, that you're trying to act very quickly. This could also be why we see some of the energies pulling back right now for feminine or masculine, because there's so much of a concentration on trying to bring this into reality that you're pulling your energy back from some places so that you can put all of your attention into what you're trying to create with the expediency that you are hoping to, feeling some kind of divine urge to do this as quickly as possible. Continuing to get clarification on these cards right now between our Four of Pentacles and it's our High Priestess in its reversal right now. So a moment that is feeling like you have to hold back to a certain extent. You cannot reveal everything that you're trying to work on right now. You cannot do everything. You're really trying to be protective of your energy. For feminine, this is actually creating a bit of a blockage here. There's something here about feeling like an uncertainty in terms of what you should or should not express, what you should or should not give forth, that is creating a bit of a disharmony in your own higher thinking. Feeling some of this blockage and potentially even trying to work through this higher blockage before you decide what you do and do not want to share, or how you want to share it, or with whom you want to share it. While for masculine right now, this is a moment where you are potentially holding things very closely, being very protective, with a lot of orientation right now on a feminine energy that you feel has similarly been withholding or pulling back from you to a certain extent. Maybe even feeling some uncertainty as to whether you should connect or reveal to this energy because you're not sure where you will find it at this moment. May I please get one card to clarify? Clarification coming right now. Girlfriend does not want to stay in the deck. We've been getting her consistently over the last week. Queen of Pentacles. So everybody's holding their cards close to their chest. So for feminine energy, again, we see this moment. Feminine's just like, I'm okay. I'm holding back my own things. I'm keeping what's important to me tight. I'm keeping my own energy very close to me right now. Not necessarily feeling as spiritually connected right now because we see so much effort and energy being put in securing some sense of stability in the tangible space. It's almost like in the wake of not having that like higher connection at this moment, feeling some of that blockage, bringing or grounding it more into like the terrestrial material space right now as you try to put this concentration of energy around you at this moment. While for masculine, I got to point out, this could be talking about more than one manifestation of feminine. Or it could be speaking about a manifestation of feminine that embodies both of these qualities. For masculine right now, there could be a feeling or sensation of holding things very close to your chest, but having two different energies potentially around you as it relates to the feminine right now. One that you feel have more of a potential spiritual link with, someone you feel like this more spiritual connection with, but you're experiencing that there's some sort of blockage there. You cannot access that spiritual connection to the degree that you typically would. And so instead, putting a lot of orientation towards more of the material manifestation of feminine, the feminine that's showing you some kind of material support, some sort of material comfort right now. But actually, honestly, holding back from both of these energies to a certain extent as you experience them and feeling potentially even some struggle between both. While for feminine, again, this is more of an orientation from like more of that higher minded thinking into more of that tangible reality around you right now. Continuing to get clarification on these cards right now between our Temperance card in its reversal and the Queen of Pentacles. So again, a bit different for feminine or masculine energy. For feminine right now, this is a moment where you're feeling a lot of that grounding, a lot of that orientation around building the stability and security around yourself right now, and feeling like you need to do it sooner rather than later, feeling some sense of like divine like pushing to have you secure this kind of stability and support for yourself in this moment. While for masculine right now, this could be feeling a moment of having a lot of care and direction right now towards an orientation, a manifestation of feminine that you feel is embodying this degree of stability and security, but also feeling like there's something very time dependent around your connection to this energy. There's something about being able to connect to this energy that says that you need to do it sooner rather than later, or feeling some kind of divine calling towards that sort of support or stability. May I please have one card to clarify? Final card for today's spread. 5 of Cups. It's all the 5 cups, like so many 5. We got 3 of the 4 or 5 cards out today. So a lot of conflict energy here, because this is a moment right now of feeling some sense of grief, of feeling some sense of what's been lost. We see that here with the healing of the 3 of Swords and the Tower card in its reversal. For masculine right now, you're feeling like there's something that is very time dependent or making you kind of drive you forward towards a manifestation of feminine right now that really embodies a lot of this sense of stability around you. And you're feeling here that there's something about this that has a very tight clock on it. And something about what you need to do around this energy right now is putting you in a sense of grief or loss, or experiencing some worries of grief or loss around this energy, or some connection to this energy that you're currently trying to go through as you make your choice on how to move forward, how to get out of some of this like sad, like more grief mindset, moving through a place of like mourning what is lost, even as you go towards some of this more feminine, like this more secure energy. This could be for some of them moving away from the High Priestess energy, if these are 2 different energies, due to the fact that there's something around this more tangible, practical energy that they need to make a decision upon. While for feminine right now, this is a moment that you're putting a lot of this security, a lot of this work right now in your own stability, in your own supportive structure, feeling like there is something where you can't wait to do this, that you need to move forward and make these choices for yourself, and experiencing some of the losses on what you need to let go of in this moment, even as you make this choice to put this concentration on yourself. We see here that there is some energy that you're healing from that caused some of these tower moments. This is where you're kind of adopting some of that grief in terms of making these choices, choosing your support of yourself versus allowing some of that unhealed energy in towards you at this moment. Bottom of the deck on this reading right now. There's our, all the 5 cards. That's it. All the 5 cards are out. All the 5 cards are out. A lot of conflict resolution coming to the surface here. Active conflicts, conflicts that need to be resolved. Here's that moment where there's an orientation and decision about how you get closure. A desire for closure, but maybe a deeper understanding that, as I keep saying, closure is not something we get from other people. Closure is something that we need to create for ourselves. And we're seeing here that with both masculine and feminine, with the 3 of Swords in its reversal, the Tower in its reversal, and the 5 of Cups here, that there is some understanding that some of the closure that you're desiring, you may not necessarily be able to achieve the way that you're hoping to achieve it. Rather, it is something you have to create for yourself at this moment. That is our daily collective read for today. I want to thank you guys so much for having it with me. Just a reminder, if you would like to book a private reading with me, you can book one on my website, graystrega.com. My private readings are done over video with the option of recording sent to you afterwards. And if you're a subscriber to my TikTok, you can take 10% off any of my services when you pay. Please remember, if you book a private reading, it is a 2-step process. You have to book the reading and you have to pay for the reading. Please make sure you do both if you would like to have that reading. I'd also like to remind you that I will never, ever, 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 ever reach out to you for a reading. I will never inbox you. I will never DM you. The only way you can have a reading with me is if you book it on my website. I want to thank you guys so much for having this reading with me today, and we will do this again tomorrow.